Hey, how's it going? I was wondering if you wanted to talk about lost characters again. No? Well, too bad, we're doing it anyways. Once again, these are characters to have been implied to always have been in that particular TV show, video game, or even movie. Now it's up to me, Zeep, to discover whether or not these are real or fake. And spoiler alert, a bunch of these are fake. But a couple of them are real and kind of funny, so stick around. Anyways, enough talking, onto the video. Yum is weird. While data mining the game files for SpongeBob SquarePants Saves the Day, a disturbing secret was found. SpongeBob Saves the Day was a 2019 Flash game in which SpongeBob did SpongeBob things. I mean, this part doesn't really matter. What does matter is that while data mining, a disturbing and frankly weird looking character named Yum is found to be sitting in the stored objects of the environment section of the game. Yummer is like this humanoid monster with a realistic, like, smiling mouth and a set of eyes, and it's just, you know, it's just creepy. The thing about this is, like, this is real, by the way. If you data mine yourself, you will find Yummer in the files. The devs of the game would come out and state that Yummer was an Office meme, and they would even state that they forgot to remove him from the game, but I think this just makes it even more funnier. I don't know about you guys, but I would like to think Yummer is canon. BAGAN from Godzilla. So let me just stress this, I'm a huge Godzilla fan, and this entire story is just fascinating to me. BAGAN was created to be an antagonist during the 1990s era of the Godzilla films. Basically, he would be this shapeshifter that would face off against Godzilla and spell nothing but doom for him. The thing about BAGAN is that he was supposed to be used multiple times throughout multiple projects, but it just never ended up working out. What I mean by this is that he was supposed to appear in the movie The Return of Godzilla, but he was scrapped out of it, and then he was also supposed to appear in Mothra vs. BAGAN, but was replaced by Godzilla for like whatever reason, because I guess he's more popular. This would happen a third time in Godzilla vs. Destroyer, a movie he was destined to appear in, but he was just cut out and replaced with the main antagonist, Destroyer. It's even been rumored that BAGAN was supposed to be in like the all-out monster brawl known as Godzilla Final Wars, but was cut out because who the hell knows about him? He hasn't appeared in a movie. Like to Toho, who gives a shit? But the funniest part about this is that apparently leaked footage came out by users stating that, oh my god, they were gonna use BAGAN in this movie, no way. But in reality, the monster in this footage was not BAGAN, it's just another monster named Risehouse. BAGAN's only official appearance was in a 1993 Super Nintendo game called Super Godzilla, in which he will remain in obscurity, never to appear in a movie, ever. I really feel bad for this kaiju. So if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to subscribe, because that would make me really happy. Also, if you want like a third one of these, let's try and hit 4K likes, and hey, I'll make a third one, why not? Anyways, on to the next thing. Gorochu. Okay, so Pokemon is probably like the most notorious when it comes to fake or lost characters per se. Every now and then when a new generation of Pokemon is coming out, fake Pokemon are designed to trick people and like I guess to troll them a little bit. However, when it comes to some of them, they are real. They just never made it off the cutting room floor. Gorochu was meant to be the final form of Pikachu, having fangs and horns ready to attack. Now this was before Generation 2, when Pichu was established as the first in the evolution line for Pikachu. The creator of the Pikachu family described Gorochu as a god of thunder, with only very few photos of the monster being revealed. It was never used within the original Red and Blue games due to balancing issues between Pokemon, which is kind of funny because if you play Red and Blue now, it's like completely like unbalanced and pretty broken. Personally, I think Gorochu's design is kind of based in Epic, so it's a shame that it never made it in, but oh well, what are you gonna do? Apparently Red and Blue didn't have any space whatsoever as well to add him in, so once again, another shame. Miranda Piker and Marvin Prune from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So Miranda and Marvin were assholes, with Miranda appearing in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory novel, being described as the most filthiest, rudest, and most disobedient creature you could imagine. If you know anything about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you may know that each kid is taken away from the challenge of owning the factory one by various incidents. For example, the big kid gets owned by getting stuck in the chocolate river pipe. I remember watching the remake for this movie and watching this scene go down and just thinking to myself, holy shit, this is awesome. So basically Miranda's fate involved a candy called Spotty Powder, a candy Wonka created to mimic an illness that would let a child skip school for that day. Miranda and her dad attempted to sabotage the candy-making machine, but failed in doing so and were believed to be crushed into powder. Instead, they took too much of the powder themselves and were laughing so hard that it sounded like they were screaming. Marvin Prune, on the other hand, is a completely lost character. So the author for the book sent all the material about this character to a magazine company to be featured in one of their issues. Unfortunately, the company went under and everything surrounding Marvin was completely lost. All that's really known about him is that he was a very conceited boy. Special thanks to Danny Bright for bringing this information to me in the comments section. The sunflower from Fantasia. Alright, just like the last video, I have to talk about racism again, except this time, this is actually pretty racist. So Sunflower appeared in the 1940 version of Fantasia, and oh my god, this is really not good. So after 1969, Disney re-edited Fantasia and removed any clips of Sunflower due to it perpetuating a racist stereotype. So Sunflower is a female centaur characterized by very, very exaggerated features. Sunflower helps out other female centaurs by attempting to decorate them with flowers. As the scene goes on, there's another black centaur that appears, but this time it's a male, once again characterized by racist stereotypes. As stated prior, these characters are long gone and were removed in the year 1969, 50 years ago. Even back then, Disney knew it was wrong. To go even further, concept art shows the centaur eating watermelon. It goes without saying, but yes, it is best that this got cut out. Lyman from Garfield used to be one of the original 4 main characters from the comic strip. He used to appear in the comic strips actually fairly regularly, until he was just slowly phased out. At one point he was a main character, then at one point he would make cameos, and then at one point he was just gone. Completely vanished from the comic strip, never to appear again. So he does appear in an episode of the Garfield show, but fans have stated that it is clearly not Lyman, due to the eye shape and hair being completely different. They even go far to state that he's an imposter to the original Lyman. So here's the thing about Lyman. Lyman's original purpose was to be the person who John could actively talk to and basically bounce off ideas with. But Garfield eventually overtook that role, making Lyman's purpose unnecessary. Jim Davis, the creator of Garfield, has joked around about Lyman, stating that he joined the Peace Corps and was never heard from again. He has also stated to fans to not look into John's basement. Jesus, I wonder what that implies. It actually implies something that is very real. In the Garfield game, Scary Scavenger Hunt, you go through a basement in a haunted mansion, and he is shown chained up onto the wall of that basement. If you play the second Scary Scavenger Hunt game, his head is found inside a kitchen oven. Oh my god. Lyman, I am so sorry for you. WARUPICHI. I have to be honest with you guys, Mario Tennis has always been whatever for me. And really that's always been the Mario sports games besides Mario Kart and the Striker titles. Like, I don't know, dude. I just wasn't able to get into the Mario Tennis as opposed to other Mario spin-offs that are actually really great. I can appreciate Mario Tennis, however, for introducing Waluigi, one of the greatest characters of all time. Of course you all already know this, but he was created to be the lanky rival against Luigi. But what if I told you that Princess Peach was supposed to also have a rival as well? Now don't get too excited, this concept didn't even make it to the cutting room floor. This character was brainstormed for Mario Tennis for the Nintendo 64, and was going to be in the same vein of say Wario and Waluigi. But Miyamoto shot down the idea because, quote, he didn't want to know what that world would look like. The closest thing to this would be created by the internet almost 20 years later, with the concept of Bowsette. Some other fan concept art has also come out of her, and she looks similar to what I probably would have expected. That being said, I do think about what Miyamoto stated. What would that world look like where WARUPICHI existed? I guess we'll never know. Sparky the Dog. Listen, the thing that I love the most about the Five Nights at Freddy's games aren't even the games themselves, but the remixes that Living Tombstone created. They're pretty epic, and they still go hard to this day, I'm being honest. That's besides the point, however, because today we're going to cover a hoax. So Sparky the Dog was a rumored character to be in the original Five Nights at Freddy's game, with screenshots beginning to appear all over the web in 2014. Sparky the Dog, however, was not violent unlike other animatronics. He would just stand there in the background being like creepy. The creators of the game eventually came out and stated that Sparky the Dog was not real. Despite this, people have suggested that the animatronic named Fetch, who appears in the book Fazbear Frights 2, is inspired by Sparky. Well, isn't that sweet? Okay, so let me be straight with you guys. I've tried scouring the internet for this footage, but I guess you're going to have to take the word of this comment. Brian Gonigal, who commented on my last video about a really lost character that is even worse than Chuck Cunningham. So basically in the show All My Children, there was a character named Bobby Martin, a 12-year-old child of the Martin family. All My Children was a long-running soap opera, who would every now and then forget about characters who appeared in the past. One day in the year 1970, Bobby Martin left the room saying he was going up to the attic to go and get some skis, and then he was never seen or mentioned ever again by any of his family, or any other characters that had been in contact with them. Like Chuck Cunningham, it was as if he never existed in the first place. Eventually, a couple decades passed by, well after every character from Bobby's era of the show had left by conventional means, meaning that unlike Bobby, they actually got farewells. The show, and judging from other comments I've seen on the internet, apparently acknowledged Bobby Martin's disappearance when one character who was scavenging around the attic in which the Martins lived in uncovered a skeleton holding a pair of skis. Apparently, the character who sees it never acknowledges it to any other character and just continues on as if nothing happened. And this all happens in a freaking soap opera called All My Children. Wow. This has actually really pissed off soap opera fans. It's actually kind of funny how mad people have gotten because of this. SoapFan3001 writes this on a forum: "Why the moronic writers thought no one would notice is beyond me. Same with the people at Happy Days with Chuck. And the worst offender are the idiots at Family Matters, where they suddenly dumped the character Judy after 3 seasons of the show. What kind of idiots do that? I guess they just figure no one pays any attention to details like that. They guessed wrong, lol." So that post was wild, but what's even more wild is what happened to Judy. And if you want to find out about that, I guess there'll have to be a part 3 one day. Until then. Okay, subscribe, I love you guys, bye!